We'll talk about where she's heading and her new play. It's not new, is it really?
It's a transferred play. Just her play.
Okay. Hello everyone, today I am joined by Sarah Milton. Sarah is a playwright and an actress, and she currently has a play at the King's Head Theatre in London called Tumble Tuck. Hello Sarah.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Today we're going to talk about Tumble Tuck. We're going to talk about Tumble Tuck's journey, where you can get tickets, because it's finishing up in here on the 12th of May, is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
Good stuff. And then we're also going to talk about Sarah's future, because she's got a really cool project happening, which is about developing and supporting new writers. Mm-hmm. So first of all, I want to know about Tumble Tuck. Funny little play title, really cool images across all of your marketing. Tell the guys at home who maybe haven't seen the play already what Tumble Tuck's about and how we got to this point.
Tumble Tuck is the story of this young woman's journey of defining what success is to her, particularly with social media and television, and everything is judged. You are judged on everything, and how do you define yourself as successful? The character Daisy is really struggling to understand what that means to her, and actually overcoming a lot of personal trauma is success in itself. Just getting out of bed in the morning is a successful thing to do for a lot of people. It touches on mental health, it touches on trust and relationships, familial difficulties, first loves, the breakdown of friendship, the breakdown of body image. But it's transparently a human experience that everyone's really related to, and it's so exciting to bring it to London. Like, the audiences have been fantastic, so yeah. Come!
I know you as an actress and as a playwright, and I know that this sort of didn't happen overnight. It was in Edinburgh, if I'm right.
Yeah, last year.
Now it's in London. So where did the journey of this play begin? Like can you remember when you was like, I'm going to write a play about that?
I was diagnosed with a panic disorder in 2009. I got better, I was on a lot of medication. In 2012 it came back. I felt like I couldn't live in London anymore, and I moved back in with my mum, which was a really weird experience for someone who has moved away and then moved back. And my mum's suggestion was to go swimming. Why don't we go down to the leisure centre and go swimming every day? I'd put on a lot of weight, I was very depressed. I wasn't expecting to get the serenity and the peace, the back and the forth, the no music. There was this team, local team, we called them the triathletes. I don't actually know what they did. Every 2 lengths of theirs was like half a length of mine, or 1 length of mine, or whatever. That feeling of dejection and comparison, and I got out of the water and I didn't go for 2 days. I felt really crap, really low, and then I started writing what it felt like to swim, and then this play fell out of my fingers into the computer.
When did you first put, I was going to say ink to paper, but finger to keyboard?
Yeah, 2013 was when I started writing it.
So it's taken 5 years to get to this point.
But I ended up submitting it because I ended up joining the Soho Young Writers. They do this like month thing every year. They take an intake of new emerging writers who are keen to learn how to write a play. I joined that in 2013 and started using what I'd been writing for it. Yeah. And then it got picked up by one of my peers in that who worked for the Old Vic Theatre.
Right.
So it then went on at Wilderness Festival. But something so unexpected and something so wonderful has come out of something very painful and very difficult. It's been quite exposing emotionally, but it's, I feel like it's really benefited a lot of people for watching it, and that's why you make theatre.
It's so come from you. So how do you make that? How do you create that distance, or is there no distance between essentially having Sarah on stage to having Daisy on stage?
It definitely doesn't feel like Sarah's on stage, ever. I mean, I performed the whole play in a swimming costume, and that is an incredibly physically exposing thing. That felt very important to me to do that, because I think it's really important that we see women in a true representational form. Like, I want you to see Daisy wobble, and I want her arms to jiggle, and I want my cellulite to be exposed, and I want you to see her at every angle in a very ugly way. Narratively, it isn't my story at all. It's Daisy's story. Emotionally, it's my story. But narratively, it isn't at all. And I think that's how you get your distance, because I'm just telling a story of this woman who has experienced a very similar feeling to me, but her story is in no way my story. That's what I'm saying to myself. Tell Daisy's story. It's nothing to do with me in that moment. It's her hour.
How's it been performing your own work? Normally you would be used to performing somebody else's words, somebody else's imagination and creativity, and now you are the yin and the yang.
Oh God, yeah, I forget I write it. I do genuinely forget I've written it.
Because it's so good.
Did I write it? Just like you go into rehearsals and like you just like me and Tom. It's just me and Tom. Tom Wright's the director. He's this awesome director. What's great about it is that we have license to change things like that. We don't have to go and ask someone if it's okay to change a line. We change lines. We changed lines right up until press night last week. Lines mean different things every week. That's the kind of world we live in. When I'm on stage, it doesn't feel like I'm the writer. And I never wrote it thinking that I was going to be the actor of it. I wrote it because...
Did you not?
No.
Oh, right.
I didn't write it for me. I wrote it for...
Whoever would be playing.
Whoever would be playing Daisy.
With that in mind, obviously you were really lucky to spend time at the Soho Theatre, and I believe you also had a bit of time at the Lyric Hammersmith in the past as well. So with that inspiration in mind, why don't you tell the guys at home now what you're doing with N16 Presents and how you are looking to take those lessons and nurture and support future playwrights?
When you first start writing, you're not ever expecting to get paid, I don't think, at the very beginning. You're just like, I just want my work on. I think a lot of starting theatre companies can be quite exploitative of that desire for a playwright to experience their work on a stage. They'd employ graduates to, they wouldn't employ them, they'd offer them an opportunity to volunteer, to be in shows and promise them exposure. The same for the writer. You know, they sold tickets to family and friends who were really excited that all of these people were in this one night. No one saw a cut of those ticket sales. So it can be quite an exploitative environment. I spent some time at the Royal Court in 2016. I was part of their Open Court Festival for under 25 writers. 10 of us were selected to be put under commission for this festival. And I spent 6 months being nurtured and, you know, draft after draft after draft we'd go through, and I was really facilitated in that time. It inspired me to think about how do we translate that facilitation of emerging writers without exploiting them, and how we do that on a fringe theatre budget. Like how do you do that?
Which can often be no budget. So what can fringe theatres offer? And that is time. Scott Ellis, who was the then artistic director of Theatre N16, wanted to do something for new writers, but he didn't know how to make a model that didn't do everything that I've just explained. My friend Fionn Jones, who is an astonishing playwright, wanted to get on board and wanted to, stretch her dramaturgical muscles. When I say dramaturgy, it basically means like a script doctor, someone who reads a script and feeds back on it and is there to really help facilitate the growth of that script. My model for Theatre N16 that I pitched to the guys was, we source those writers. They don't have to submit anything to us. We go to these scratch nights. We find them on social media. We read work. We decide who we would like to facilitate for a 2-month period. For the first 4 weeks, they're just sending drafts back and forth to me and Fionn. They have someone who has written, knows how the industry works, and has the time to read those plays. So we make time for 2 writers each. Midway through, there's a reading where we ask our actor friends to donate an evening to just read some work. A lot of actors do just want to read new work for their own benefit. And then we spend another 4 weeks spending time with those writers, refining those drafts that they would like to put on stage, and that can either culminate in a reading or a performance-ish, but there's no pressure on anyone to be like off book. It's quite an informal thing, but it's that celebration of the 2 months that they have spent having someone look after them, and that's what you miss
in the fringe theatre and with new writing companies, I feel.
You are not working on any budget yourself.
No,
So
Fionn and I and Scott don't receive payment. The Really Useful Group charity have given us a tiny pot of money that we're able to give the writers enough to buy their coffees and their train tickets whilst they're writing.
Yeah, nice, yeah.
And me and Fionn, I've had my train fare from Brighton, where I now live, covered. And then we will actually split the profit at the end between the performers who do it. Yeah. And we're just very transparent from the beginning.
I think it's an amazing thing you're doing. I think it's fantastic, and I can only wish you all the best of luck with it.
Thank you.
So where is it again? It is at N16.
N16.
On the
2nd of July 2018. It's going to be great.
Is there a website they can go to, or just like
yeah,
social media
if
links?
If you pop in Theatre N16 on Google, it will come up.
All right, Sarah, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
If you want to see Sarah's Home from a Home, where she talks about her lovely little village in West Sussex, then click the links. There'll be one up here, there'll be one in the description below. And guys, go and see Tumble Tuck play. It closes on Saturdays. Really, really good. And also, if you're a new writer, then go to N16 Presents. Get involved.
Yes, and say hi to me afterwards. I want to meet you. We all want to meet you. Yay!
Guys, if you enjoyed this video, then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share it with your aspiring theatre people friends, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thank you.
Bye!